Um, what I understand is a major issue we have in the country right now is processing the intelligence that we have, and also there is no unifying factor, there is no unity amongst all the agencies of government, and information that's being gathered usually is supposed to come from the entry points into the country. Like, for instance, in developed world, they actually categorize their intelligence into three categories. They have strategic intelligence, operational intelligence, and instantaneous intelligence. You know, strategic intelligence, this is actually meant for the big boss, the real people who will strategize on how things should be done. While the operational are the people that do the day-to-day running, like the police, like DSS and all the people, while the instantaneous are the people on the field. That's tactical. A tactical intelligence for you need to do it now. Now, for instance, information is received from immigration, for instance. The military is on the field looking for one terrorist or whoever they're looking for. Immigration receives an intelligence of the person coming in. It doesn't have a tool to communicate with those people on the field. Now, for instance, I know the government is doing a lot, and the NSA also is really working, but there's this communication gap amongst all the agencies, and they really need to work to achieve this. I know they're working towards it. I know, and I'm aware as well, that the government is also trying to find a solution to communication problems amongst all the agencies. Again, we need to, to fight the rivalry that comes with that. We have the police, who is at the loggerhead with the civil defense. We have the civil defense, who does not want to agree that the police is a superior power. We have DSS, who wants to arrest the police somewhere. And then I don't understand how we then want to combat those people who are terrorizing our people. Again, we need to know the real reason why we are security agents. Is it for the people, or for ourselves, or for the government? The people should be the end consumer of your services. They should be the people that you are protecting, and then every other thing you have amongst yourselves should be secondary. So, for instance, we believe in technology these days. I don't know if our government agencies review their tactics. I don't know if they review their way of getting this information, but I think we are not moving away from what is the norms, what we normally do. I know a lot of people use human intelligence, this and that, but there are a lot of gadgets right now that can give you real-time intelligence. Then you have experts who can process this intelligence.
Such as tapping our phones, right?
You don't have to tap your phone. You don't have to tap your phone.
What we lack, because equipment you can get.
Don't share it. So that's the other side of it.
Mr. Abiodun, let me take you to the area of crime. I'm sure you are aware that many Nigerians would rather not give information to the police for obvious reasons. How is that going to change? Because the police need information from the people. Otherwise, their work
is within us.
You give it to.
You see, this is exactly what
I'm sorry, just before you respond to that, we need.
They cannot survive without eating, without drinking, with all the essential amenities needed.
A very important aspect of intelligence, and of course, if the people are not willing to share information with the government security agencies, actually get the appropriate intelligence to help the people. So one of the first things I believe we need to tackle is the orientation of the people as well as the government security agency. In this case, we talk about the police. The police also should see people as partners. One, they should see people as the raw materials that they work with. And then when they are being given information, they do not use it against such people. But however, there is also another method of combating this. That was why I mentioned the use of technology in the first place. There are a lot of in the world. I can share information with the police without having to appear in the police station. I can share information with them. They have my data, they have my information, they have everything. I just send incident report from the comfort of my table. I'm in a beer parlor. I can see some people discussing terrible things. I pick up my phone, I put some things on it, and I send information to the right quarters.
But they have your number.
Yes, they could have my number because, you see, criminals could also use this kind of medium to distract the police. So they actually need to have information. Otherwise, I mean, I could decide to send the wrong information to the police just to get them off my way, and then I perpetrate my act.
Might be a crime.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's always good for us to just be comfortable. You know, the fear most of the time is actually interfacing directly with the police. It's not about the information to be shared. So if people can actually have this software, which I mean, I don't know if it's okay to say it here, but we actually have a software for that.
Okay,
We already- we-
we'll send you
But yeah,
An invoice.
an invoice.
but you see, the truth is there is actually a solution around information sharing among the security agencies with the people, and to also give people, you see, like if you go to developed world, you think there are no criminals. There are a lot of criminals, there are a lot of thieves. People would not steal your phone when you drop it because they know they will be caught. And this is because they know they are being watched. They know that data is already everywhere. So the first thing is, what do we do with the data that we have in Nigeria?
Do we have data?
I believe we have.
Are
The
we
truth of the
collecting
matter
data?
is BVN is working in Nigeria like something else. And this came in when? Maybe about 5 years ago. And see what we're doing with it. The same thing with the passport details that we have. We have data. What are we doing
don't
with
we
it?
need national ID cards?
We have, I mean, if you look at, we have these things. The truth, we have national ID card. The truth of what are we
Identity
doing
number.
with those data? What are we doing with even the one we have? If what we have is just 20%, what are we doing with it? Are we doing the right things with this figures? Are we comparing them? I mean, when we look at intelligence and look at solution, you talk about trending. You look at, okay, this guy behaves this way today, tomorrow he's behaving this way. How do I say I'm tagging this guy has to be on the blacklist or to be on the whitelist or something? You know, we need to be able to follow up with every information we have. We need to be able to, process the data we have to identify a prospective criminal.
Do we have enough security agents to do that?
Well, Nigerian
There's
population.
180 million of us.
Nigerian population is growing inversely proportional to the security agents.
No, you see, how is that so? I seriously don't believe that we need to pack a whole bunch of people and pour in there. You know, Nigeria right now, we have about 350,000 police people.
Things that will enable them by the time, and don't forget, the best marketing is word of mouth. Let me give you we've talked about the X squad, for instance, in the police. A lot of people don't know about them. But if there's a police officer that has harassed you or gone contrary to the rule of law, call the X squad and see whether your experience will be satisfying or bad.
How do we reach the X squad?
Well, I'll send that information to. I know. We'll send that information out.
See this. Oshino Kingsley says we need to invest heavily in security in terms of human capital and resources. Security manpower in this part of the world is shallow, ill-trained, and works with poor apparatus, tools, and motivation. Then Shegun says, why can't government ensure that businesses from a particular size are made to have CCTV installed? This will complement the ones owned by government. So again, we're still back to that thing about human resources, human capital.
Well said. You see, before I go into what he has said, I would like to comment a little bit on what he mentioned earlier, especially with the person who still exercise fears into the sharing of information with the police. I actually would like us to give credit to Nigerian police. No matter what we say they are doing right now, we need to give credit to them. And if you are familiar with them, you know there are a lot of intelligent police and there are a lot of well-educated and well-read police officers in Nigeria. You know, don't actually judge them with the people you see on the street that harass you and all that. Because, you see, when we are talking about intelligence sharing, it doesn't go to most of the people you see are the users. Most of the police officers you see on the field, they are the users of these things. They are not the receptors. They are not the one receiving it. So, for instance, if we are to send information to the police, there's a department, there are control rooms, there are operation rooms, where the people manning them actually understand what it means to receive those information.
But I hope we understand that the security, internal security, is not just about the police.
Exactly.
It's about there's immigration, there's customs, there's the police, there is civil defense, and to some extent there's the DSS. It all comes together. They had a conference recently in Abuja where they were talking about the need for a central intelligence center where this intelligence or information is analyzed.
We actually mentioned this too in when I started,
Yes.
I spoke about the unity among the
non-existent. Mr. Mark talked about a joint intelligence committee.
Yes. You see, the what you said is correct. The only thing why we've been talking about police is because police is actually meant to secure the civil society. Everybody has its own responsibility cut out for them.
Yes.
However, immigration is at the point of entry and exit. We have the civil defense. It's also even supposed to be closer. They are more of like the community policing that we are talking about, and all of them has to, of course, collaborate to get an efficient security for the people. But the police actually play a major role in this. And of course, they've been taking the forefront. So we need to talk more about them. We need to also ensure that Nigerians and the people believe in the police. Because, you see, no matter what we say, they are bad, they are terrible, they are everything. If this citizen does not believe in the police, we can't get any results out of what we're trying to do.
The police have a lot of public relations to do.
Yes. Like he mentioned that as well, because it's one of the things that is killing the security in the country. Yes.
I'm afraid I have to interrupt you. We'll take a quick break and come back to continue this conversation. Please don't go away. Welcome back. Mr. Burden, you were...
Yes. We're talking about the major reason why the police are actually perceived to be bad in this part of the world. Like my colleague here also said earlier, this is about information sharing. And this is more of people who have not been informed. I'll go back to what I said earlier. The police do not see the citizens as the main reason why they are doing their job, why they are there.
Yes.
So for every time you go out there, you need to come back to report to those people that you're actually protected. So the truth is, you might be protecting me, but you're not telling me what you're doing. Then I don't trust what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you are for me or you're against me.
Yeah.
So the key thing is information. See, we might have police PRO, all sort and all sort, but that's not enough.
No.
We need to have a better channel of information, a better channel of disseminating information to the general populace, and also let them know step by step what you are doing to achieve the peace that the people want.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way you get their buy-in into everything you're doing, and then they will be ready to support you with all information.
But
Mr.
you're a
Makri.
Nigerian. You know that the more secrecy there is, then the
more
more we
interest.
feel like
That's
we're
also
doing
where
something.
That's what we call intelligence, because you see, you then need to be able to differentiate what is to be sent to the public and what is to be secret to you. Because until an information is actionable, it's probably not necessary to be there in the public.
Exactly.
So you also have to sieve all those things and know which ones. And of course, it is what you know that you react on. The people would not be upset if they don't know something. But whatever you tell them, make sure you play your role in ensuring that what you have informed them you will do, you do it.
And this brings to mind when like shootings happen in America,
Yes.
and then the police chiefs give press conferences.
Yes.
Reporters ask them a question. I'm not in a position to answer that question now.
Yes.
I mean, I always ask myself, what would a Nigerian policeman say in this situation?
You know, there is this situation where we are.
Well, you see, my colleague, they've also said a lot of things, but I think we need to basically give out more information to people, and then voluntary information by the security forces. Like, for instance, there are softwares everywhere that you can actually solve everything happening on Google, everything happening on Twitter, on all the social medias, and then you can get some intelligence that is required by the people on these platforms and proactively send it to the people. By the time the people keep getting information from the police that is useful to their day-to-day activities and lives, they then believe that, oh, there is an emergency somewhere. Who cares about me? Oh, there is robbery going on there. Don't pass that route. There is traffic lock there. Don't do this. There is this. I mean, you can imagine you as a citizen receiving a message that this place is no-go area. Don't go there. And this is coming from your police. That means they're actually protecting you even before you know it. So really, the people will be happy to work with the police in that way.
Thank you very much. We have been chatting with Mr. Dennis Amakre, retired Assistant Director at the State Department of Security Services, Mr. Sanusi Ture, Security Consultant, as well as Mr. Ajishafe Abiodun, Security Practitioner. Thank you very much for this very interesting and enlightening conversation.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Sunrise will return with another interesting conversation in just a moment. Stay with us.
What you want to do. Say